welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Olga. I have fibromyalgia and I make videos about that and about books and other things that I like twice a week normally, sometimes more. I don't know. It depends on how I'm feeling. So if you want to stick around for that, you can subscribe to my channel. And also, if you would like to support me and help me keep making videos, you can do so by following the links down below, either to my Patreon page or to my Etsy store. Okay, now that's out of the way. That's it. Okay, let's get into the video. In today's video, I wanted to, I don't know, I'm in a weird mood. I've had very few good days in the last like 2-3 weeks, so I'm like really excited that I'm having a good day, so that's probably why I have this weird energy going on. But I wanted to talk to you about my neurologist appointment and kind of like where we stand right now with the whole neurologist thing and just what took me to a neurologist, what we're doing, what treatments is it for, and you know, my experience with it. Probably last year after I was diagnosed, I was very curious about going to a neurologist. And the idea behind this was always that I was being treated by rheumatologists, and I understand that most people with fibromyalgia are treated by rheumatologists, but it seems like fibromyalgia is more of a neurological condition because of everything that is happening in our brains. I always had this curiosity of going to a neurologist just to hear their side of the story kind of thing, and just to like have a different opinion. So that was always like one of my interests in going to a neurologist, but I always kind of put it off because you have other things that you need to be getting done, like other symptoms that you need to manage first and that take higher priority. So you end up kind of like putting it off, and that's kind of what happened with me. About May, I was starting to get really bad migraines constantly and really bad headaches, and I realized that my head constantly hurts. So I constantly have a headache every single day. And I started thinking like, maybe this isn't normal, maybe this isn't just fibro, and even if it is, what better person to help me manage these symptoms than a neurologist? I also kind of realized the doctor who had diagnosed me hadn't run enough tests for me. So we were kind of like, okay, this is the time. So I booked an appointment with a neurologist, kind of went on the website of the hospital that I go to. I try to always go to the same hospital just because they all have my information so they can more easily communicate with each other, and it just makes it easier for me. So I went on their website and I kind of just picked out whatever neurologist sounded good to me. So I normally tend to choose only females, and I normally will choose people who I feel are more suited to my needs. So I went to her, she did a bunch of like testing on me, like poking my face and poking my body and like testing. We tested my balance, which is terrible. A lot of questions, a lot of chatting, and I told her about my diagnosis. I told her about all of these headaches and the migraines and stuff, and that it was just so frustrating. And we also talked about my lack of focus and just my really bad brain fog, because that was one of the symptoms that I felt was bothering me the most. I also told her about my limbs going weak and stuff like that, and she diagnosed me with tetraplegia. I think that's how you say it, which is where your limbs will just go numb, and yeah. And you'll just like, not go numb, but like go weak, and you can't lift them and you can't really move very much. So that happens to me a lot, especially left leg and left arm. She noticed that I also have more sensitivity in my left side than in my right side, so I feel more pain on my left side than I do on my right. She also wanted me to do more testing. She wanted me to make sure that I didn't have another different kind of neurological condition or anything other than what we thought it was. So we did a lot of blood work, we did a couple of MRIs, and we also did a test for my brain fog. So it's called neuropsychological testing. They basically test both your emotional state and your psychological state. So kind of, not really psychological state, but like your attention span, if you can do simple maths, if you can follow a story, if you can like link the dots in that sheet of paper. So they give you a bunch of tests. I will say I was exhausted after that. I think I like performed pretty well, but I know that I wouldn't be able to do that every day, and I did tell her that, but the test did show that I have a pretty bad attention span and that I just am not super attentive and I lack a little bit of focus, which we already knew. If you watched my last health update, I talked about going to the rheumatologist and starting to reduce my medication. So we are reducing. I've completely gone off Flexeril or cyclobenzaprine now, and she also wants me to stop taking Lyrica, but we are weaning off of that still. So I am still taking it, but we are going to be weaning off very soon. And she just wanted me to accelerate that process because my rheumatologist wanted me to like take up to a year to stop taking them. My neurologist didn't agree with that, and she wanted me to try other stuff. Like, I think she also wants to test if my brain fog is just medication, but I think she wanted me to try something else because clearly she felt like that medication wasn't the right stuff for me. Fine, I'm happy to experiment and to try new things because, like, if that's going to help me, then great. And we have started taking other things. Now, ideally, I would love to be off of medication completely, and I did share that with my neurologist, and she agrees with that, and she says that that is part of her plan, but that first we need to sort of navigate this whole headache situation and get to the bottom of that, and then we can figure out what, like, and then we can be off medication kind of thing. I am doing it, but I'm not gonna say that I'm excited about it. I'm not excited about new medication or more medication. I'm not. I just really want to be off of it, but I'm hoping it will help, and I am hoping that it will improve my health. But I also am scared that it will improve my health and then my health will decrease again once I'm off them. But those are normal fears, I feel like, so I just have to roll with the punches and see what life brings, I guess. So I am taking 30 milligrams of duloxetine every morning. It's also known as Cymbalta. It is, I think, an antidepressant which will help with my mood because my testing also showed that I am sad and anxious and showed some signs of depression, which, I mean, I have a chronic illness. I can barely leave the house. I feel like that's pretty normal, but it is what it is. I think they're a symptom and a consequence of fibro and not something like on its own, but whatever. So duloxetine is supposed to help with my pain as well, and it's kind of, I think, is supposed to take the place of Lyrica. At night, I'm going to be taking ADT, so amitriptyline, I think that's what it's called, and that is to help me sleep, to help my mood as well, and to help with my headaches. So apparently on amitriptyline, gradually your headaches start to go away and you start to feel an improvement for people with migraines. It is apparently a good medication. We're trying, we'll see. I have also heard in my previous video where I talked about this, a lot of you guys said that you had bad experiences with amitriptyline. I don't know. So far, I've just felt groggy and tired and like I didn't have any energy to do anything, but that I think is part of changing medication and starting new medications. So yeah, I don't know. I'm still giving it time. I am going to give it until I go back to my neurologist in 3 months from now. So in October, we are going back, and by then I will tell her how I'm feeling, like how I'm doing with it, and then I guess we'll have a new update. She also asked me to stop taking or to slow down as much as possible and take as little as possible of my tramadol painkillers. Now, normally whenever I'm in a flare, I would take tramadol and paracetamol together, but she said that it would make my headaches worse. So we are trying to avoid that as much as possible. I'm trying to avoid all painkillers as much as possible, but she gave me something else for my migraines for whenever it's really, really bad. I can't remember the name, but I will put it on the screen. I have a calendar that she gave me where I write down all of my headaches, like what kind of intensity they were, so I'm doing that still. As far as like everything else, I've been flaring kind of for the last 2 weeks. In terms of pain, it's not been too bad because it is warm, so it's okay for now. But I feel like in the winter it will get worse again pain-wise because that's just how it always is for me. But honestly, I cannot wait for winter because I can cope with pain better than I can cope with this whole like fatigue migraine situation. So yeah, that's what's happening. I don't know what else to say. Let me know how you're doing, health-wise, non-health-wise, I don't know. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave it a like and a comment, and consider subscribing to my channel if you have not done that already. It would mean so much to me. I hope you are having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!